Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another Steel Division 2 deck building video here with 19th Tank Corps. So this division, this is one of those Soviet divisions that just doesn't really exist in the meta. It is essentially C to D tier. I would put it quite low. C tier more likely because there are maps where you can be pretty strong on this, essentially just the Slits maps in general. Slits West especially, but the Slits maps you can definitely get some legs with this. But this division is definitely this division has a whole host of problems. Honestly, I do believe it is quite strong in 10v10. Again, don't play it myself, but IS2s are IS2s, and you get lots of 2k HE. So certainly on your multiplayer maps, this division has a lot more legs where you get some support from your allies to cover the pretty glaring weaknesses. But in a 1v1 situation, this division is pretty brutal to play. It is a Vanguard Maverick deck only. You cannot play this balance. There's too many massive holes in the deck, in the division, to play it, on long game. There's just no way. This has probably the weakest infantry tab in the game, up there with it. I think this is the weakest infantry tab in the game. It's pretty brutal. AT tab's not amazing. The RD tab is solid though. And the tank tab, actually, for being a tank core, it's missing a really important factor, which makes it really not good in general. So let's dive in here. The Recon tab, we don't have a ton of options, and we need infantry desperately, so we're taking Razvedka, lots of them. 2 cards in A phase, a card in B phase, and then B phase, we're going to take a T-3045 Razvedka, double vetted, 4 of those, so you get the 95 points. These are very good. I like the camo on them too. This is a very good unit. We have the points for it. No reason not to take it. I could see an argument for taking a dozer, but just use Razvedka. Honestly, just use. If you really want it. Now the dozer does have higher stealth. There we go. That's what I was looking for. It has higher stealth technically. If they're not moving, like your dozer will hide better. That is a fact. So keep that in mind. And if you really feel like you're missing that dozer variant, just take the A phase Razvedka out, throw a dozer in there, and you get that. Things we're not taking here: the motorcycle, it's absolute garbage, and the motor Razvedka here, once again, pretty redundantly useless in this case. Pay 10 points more and get a bazooka and a bunch of rifles. I don't know why you wouldn't. But yeah, Razvedka are great. This is not a complaint of this unit specifically. It's almost, and these are not good infantry squads. Let me be very clear. These are not good at killing infantry, but you have so few infantry, you actually might need to use these as such. But having the bazookas everywhere is, of course, extremely nice. And as I've mentioned before, I'm a big fan of the T-3045 1943 variant here. And slap the Razvedka on it, and it's quite a good unit. Infantry tab. Oh, this hurts my eyes every time I look at it. Only 5 slots. Absolutely. I mean, it was doomed from the start, really, with only 5 slots. You get 1 card of Strelky DP, which we are taking here in A, because it's phase locked to A. Yeah, you're one, semi-mediocre squad of infantry, phase locked to A. Brutal. Then we're taking another card of Strelky here in A phase. We're taking the Tanko Desaniki card with the M2A1 half tracks. We are not vetting these. We want to just want to have as many as possible. You got to be able to do something at CQC. Because, technically long range, you should be doing well. It's in towns and stuff that you're going to be not having a very good time, technically speaking. B phase, another card of crappy Strelky. You don't even get like a Strelky SBT. It's so rudely brutal. And then a Saperty card here for CQC / can do long range stuff. We could take Avtos instead. I keep going back and forth. I don't know which I like better. I really don't. I think the Saperty just hit a little harder. That grenade toss is, it's a grenade toss. Right? It kills stuff pretty well. Avtos, though, you get a couple more. They come with some Veteran C automatically built in. Those are both nice things. Those are both very nice things. Things we're not taking: Saperty PP Shaws. We have no room for them, obviously. Would be nice for the early rush, but there's absolutely 0 room for it. Leaders, you're joking, right? Like I said, Avtos and more leaders. Yeah, this is horrible. This is so bad. I'm sure top tier players don't mind, but me personally, God, this is terrible. This is really, really bad. Tank tab. the thing that's supposed to be the highlight of this division is actually not, like, weirdly. So what you'll notice, you notice we're missing something extremely important here. There are no medium tanks, like true committed to mediuming medium tanks, as in T-34-76s in this case, or Shermans or M2, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's none. All you get is like I never know how to classify T-34-85. It's a light heavy tank, a heavy medium tank. Unfortunately, it falls in kind of like that upper tier, the upper quadrant of tank costs. It's not the cheaper, medium tanks where you're sitting in the 50, 60, 70 point range. You're in the 9,500 range, which it's a big difference. That's not a small difference in price. So we have the T-34-85 Komroti here, which is only 90 points because it does not come with the APCR. Not that we really need it very often. This unit, I do love this unit. I mean, I love these things. I can't deny I really like them, actually. These are the 1943 variant. Then we have a double vetted card of actual T-34 1943 with these come with the APCR shells. So just be aware, this is useful. I mean, if you're trying to take down something big, they can do it. Not that they can't, but it's not ideal. And then we have the KV-85 here, which is a fun unit to be sure. It is classified as a heavy tank. It's basically the T-34-85 with more armor, which is nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. And it gets an extra machine gun, I should say. So for 10 points, it's a very good deal. You do lose 20 kilometers an hour of speed, which is not small. You also lose some stealth. That's not a big deal. I don't really think that one's affecting you in most games, generally speaking. But yeah, I'm actually looking. Oh no, the higher. I was looking at the accuracy difference, but that's definitely just the AP shell. Yeah, that's the AP shell. Okay, we're gonna vet that up twice. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I like the KV-85. The unit is good, but again, it falls in that category of a little too expensive. Although this definitely will, here's the thing. These T-34-85s will absolutely bully the heck out of any normal medium tank, right? Especially allied medium tank. Not so strong against Axis, right? Because the problem is the Stug 3 and the Panzer 4 can absolutely kill these, especially the T-34-85. At closer ranges, it's a toss-up who wins. I mean, this will pen every time, but the Panzer 4 and the Stug 3 will pen pretty consistently on the T-34-85. So it's a very much a throw-up, a toss-up in the air of who's actually going to win that. And losing with this is a pretty awful trade. Like, you are trading pretty badly down. Panzer 4 only 70 points. This is 90. If those two units trade, you're down 20 points. That's not good. And especially if you're up at the KV-85 or if you're using the T-34-85 1944, now you're trading down 40 points. And that's really brutal. When it comes down to it, the T-34-85 1944 is you're up in Tiger territory now, right? Tiger's 125 points. It's 110. That's a lot of points especially for a unit that is not as tanky, literally not nearly as tanky as a Tiger. That's not great. It really is not phenomenal. A phase in, we're bringing a IS-2 1943 variant. So this division has none of the 1944 variants. You are stuck on the technically quote-unquote weaker one, which is weaker. It's got a slower rate of fire. It's got lower armor. It's not a small difference. It is nice that they're cheaper. The availability is a little less bad. But, we've talked many times. How often are you bringing this in? Not much. You're just not bringing these in that much. But in this deck, I'm bringing more than normal because what else are you doing in this deck? This is the focal point of this whole division is calling in these big, stupid Soviet chunks of metal. This is kind of the whole concept of the deck. So yeah, we got 1 in A. We have 2 in B here. We're bringing the leader variant because for whatever reason, the leader variant has a way better availability curve. When you 1-vet the regular IS-2, you only get 1. When you 1-vet the leader, or you get 2, I don't really understand sometimes. Double vetting might be useful, but like I said, I'm here to call these in, which is why I have 2 of them. But I could 100% understand the argument to make 2. It comes in double vet. You get that extra round of rate of fire there, which is a big deal. Makes this a fair bit more usable in a general sense. Super heavy tanks, again, in 1v1 are generally disappointing when used. Like 9 out of 10 times are not what you hope they're going to be when you call them in. We're not taking the T-34-85 1944 at all. I do not like the cost risk ratio on this unit in any way. It just rarely pays for itself. Extremely rare. You're not really trading down to anything. You struggle against the things this is kind of designed to kill, which is a T-34-85, which is the Panther and the Tiger. Panther and Tigers kill this, win pretty consistently. And this is kind of like the unit you want up against them, technically speaking. Like, it's in the same weight class. It's just not good. Like, it just does not fall in a good spot. Another card of IS-2s. No, you just do not need more in any way. There's absolutely no reason you would need more. You could definitely move one of these T-34-85 or KV-85s to B phase, get a whole bunch of them. But I doubt you're ripping through all these to start. Whoopsies. I clicked the wrong button. I will move the KV-85 to B phase. I'll do that, but I want that IS-2 there in A phase for the early cheesies. Yeah, I'd say it's probably about right. Although I keep arguing, like, it's probably should be this. I'm calling an IS-2, and it probably needs a veterancy, truth be told. Support tab. This is a very nice support tab. There's not a lot to complain about here, and I have a lot to complain about in this division. So, Ognimachiki doing the thing. We have 2 cards Maxim because we don't have a lot of infantry, so we best be bringing in the other stuff. I accidentally didn't bring this in the Jeep. Definitely want the Jeep. So, Jeepies. Here's our 1 medium tank card in the deck. The OT-34, which is a T-34-76 with some flames and no cost increase. It's pretty nice, actually. It's a solid unit. Probably you only get 1 card. It's not like you can double up. 2 cards of SU-152. These things are pretty phenomenal. Just remember, this unit has a secret buff stat where it causes more crits to vehicles. It's actually super obnoxious. And it's crits you don't usually see. Crits like tracks broken. That really barely comes up in game at all, except with this unit where it seems to happen every other time it shoots. It's a very frustrating unit to play against. It's very good that way. It has plenty of armor to survive, maximum range hits. It's not going to block everything, obviously, but it's just a good unit. Like, the SU-152 is a very strong unit. The Soviets generally boasting really strong assault guns. And then we have some ammo. We do need that. We're going to use some stuff in the Arty tab. Things we didn't fit, but I would like to. 52P, 353, 76 mil. I would take this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Just didn't have 3 points lying around, and I'd much prefer more SU-152s over this in general. Machine gun's really important here. Not taking those out. We definitely don't need more ammo, and the combat wombats just, you don't have that many leaders anyway, so these have a very limited effect. Anti-tank tab. Not a lot to work with here. M42, we definitely need some light AT because we don't have medium tanks for the most part. So you really need this to help manage light armor. It's very important. SU-76, similar vein. This is like basically filling your medium tank role. Unfortunately, it's A phase locked, so you can't even take them in B and have lots of them. Very important unit. Do not leave this behind. And finally, B phase, ZIS-3. Again, this is all for light armor management. While your T-34-85s will bully enemy medium tanks and stuff, your opponent will generally just kind of avoid them and send, AT guns and things to kill those. So then you end up with all these freaking half tracks and armored cars and stuff running around. You really need this to help clean those up in a semi-efficient cost way, because calling in a 90 or 90 point tank to kill, a 35-point armored car is a lot. Like, that's an overbuy, technically speaking. Things we're not taking the PTRS and the VZ-VOD. Yes, they'd be nice. I just don't have room for them. Like I just said, for killing the armored cars and stuff, this would be nice. But the 3 points on that slot, starting to get a little brutal. Starting to get a little tough to get to that cost there. SU-85, just don't need it. Your T-34-85s do this similar thing. You just kind of do it better because they don't die nearly as easily to everything this is trying to kill. Although I understand this unit coming in to kill Panthers and stuff, but you have an IS-2, so you might as well use that. Anti-air. This is actually good. I mean, this tab is solid. There's not much to it, but it's good. We have the Zenart 37mm, the 85mm here, and the 37mm single double vet. Not much to discuss here. I'm not taking the Dushka. We're not taking another 85. You know, it does stuff. I don't love the 85, but it does do things. I mean, what I could do here, if we're being real, could take out the 85mm, you know, cut that down a little bit, and then cut. I really don't know, actually. Could cut maybe the Air Recon. I know how y'all love when I cut Air Recon. Lols. Not really. No, we'll take the M2 and we'll bring in the VZVOD PTR. I actually think it's just kind of necessary here. You don't have a lot of, you don't have a ton of AT, like light AT to work with. So I actually would prefer the VZVOD over the 85mm. Although, again, the 85mm has been impressing me a little bit more lately than it ever has in the past, but I still don't think it's very good. Also, be very careful. The ZIS 42 transports in this deck, which for some reason defaults to the top of everything you click. So when you put a new unit into your deck, it's going to automatically go to this ZIS 42, which is an awful transport. You do not want it coming in that, especially when these come in Studebakers now. So absolutely make sure you check that you don't bring those in. But yeah, the 37mm is plenty. Like, that is a plenty at the end of the day. Arty tab. There's some stuff here. It's not like incredible, but there is stuff. SU-76 per usual. VZVOD for some actual leaders here. And I'm taking the 203 Big Boomy. Now, the 203 is not that strong. Not arguing that it's better than the 152. 152 is probably better. I don't really care. I want the big booms. I'm going to call this thing in. I want it to go boom really big. Does the double vet really help? It does. It does. I'll take two of these. Things we're not taking. The spotter. There's not enough radio necessity to really necessitate this. Although, again, we are really short on radio. There's really like no radios at all. No infantry leaders. The tank leaders don't have radio. I could stand an argument for bringing this in. Problem is I just like moved all the kinds of things around to fit that AT, that PTRD. Like, I could get rid of that, put this back, put this in, you know, put that in and put the anti-air back in. Or what was the other thing I took? I can't remember. Can't remember where the other 2 points came from. Oh, the air tab. Yeah. Yeah, I could put the 2 points here instead. Get the RD spotter to get some radio. You know, the question is how important is the radio? I guess at the end of the day, how much do you feel you need the radio? If you need it a lot, bring this in. Mortar, it's fine. SU-76 does better in my opinion. F-22, same thing. Just not really strong enough to be worth the card. Normal 82, more SU-76s. Katyushas, you all know my feelings on these. They're terrible. I still think they're terrible. Nothing's changed. I've yet to see a game where I'm like, wow, look at that. The Katyusha is not absolute trash. I haven't had that experience, so I will continue to call it absolute trash. 120 mortar, I'd actually would probably take this over, you know, than 82 at this point. For 20 points more, you get a lot more damage. It's about the same. It's only a little bit slower rate of fire. It's like not really that big of a difference. Yes, 20 points more. But I don't think that's that backbreaking. You also get a little bit more ammo, which is nice. It's definitely nice. And of course, you get the way bigger range. Finally, the 152. 100, like I said, 100% slottable in for the 203. I think this is more survivable at the end of the day because this is actually like a vehicle with no armor. So it takes like a lot of damage from counter battery and stuff. You can move it pretty easily, which is nice, but it does move abominably slow. Like slower than slow is slow. Even slower than Churchill's, if that's giving you any idea of how slow this unit actually moves. It's pretty painful. It's pretty painful. I'm really going back and forth with this. Yeah. How bad do I want this VZVOD? I changed my mind. Changed my mind with the stupid 85 mil in. Yes, I value Air Recon that low that I'll take this stuff over it. And we'll take the RD guy there. There we go. Now we have radio. These units do benefit a lot from radio. I can't get around that factoid. Air tab. Good, but a little one-dimensional. Doesn't do much. We have the Yak-1B, which is one of the best fighter bombers in the game. This unit's actually fantastic. so aggressively fantastic, actually. Yes, it has bad resilience, and that is the bummer. That's the downside. But it reloads super fast. The 2 100-kilogram bombs is very sufficient for killing any AT guns and things like that. Actually does a ton of damage even against just like a regular infantry squad. If it catches them out of cover, it will kill them. You know, if you see 6 damage twice. It's fast, it gets in, it gets out, and it seems to reload really quickly. Like this unit resupplies really fast, does a lot of damage. Yak 1B is phenomenal. I would not leave it at home. Now we have the Yak 3. In this case, Zakharov. Ace unit doesn't actually matter, except it comes with cooler camo. I like the normal camo too quite a bit, actually. But that is cool with the arrow and stuff. This is an okay fighter. You know, this is actually one of the Soviet fighters that is reasonable, but I think it's very much overcosted. At 110 points, you're getting a unit that is very similarly statted to an ME-109, G2 or G4 or G6, not the heavy variants. So I do actually find it weird that this unit is so expensive. It's not good in the sense of like a Focke-Wulf or even an LA-7 or a P-47, right? Yeah. It's not good like that, but it is much better than most of the trash that Soviet fighters tend to be. So that's why we do have one coming in. Then we have the Mitchell. Good bomber here. It's a very solid bomber. 380 kilometers an hour, respectable speed, very good resilience. Do love that. The loadout here is fine. 8 100-kilogram bombs is not my favorite loadout, but it's not bad either. And it actually does do an okay amount of damage, you know, air defense-wise if there's a fighter floating about. You have to be careful. You can't float around this thing for too long. You actually could get shot down. MB phase, we have another Mitchell, but this one coming with 3 500-kilogram bombs. Now that's a loadout right there. That's a loadout I can get behind. This is a you know, as close to being a nuke bomber without being a nuke bomber, you know, without 1,000-kilogram bombs as you're going to get. Definitely hits really hard. Big boom, boom, boom. Things die. Things we're not taking. The U-2. I could 100% see taking out the fighter and putting the U-2 in. Okay, I'll put it out there right now. If you're an Air Recon bud, if you're an Air Recon fan, do it. The U-2 LMB Taman with the cluster. This thing is exceptionally bad. There's really no other way to describe it. Is it a lol fest if you call these in? Yes. But you don't even get a lot of them. You only get 3. You literally have to call it at the beginning of the game, and like everything will be deployed before this really hits the front line. It's kind of hilarious how bad this is. And again, very bad resilience, which means a stiff wind kills these. A 50 cal on a Sherman or something can potentially shoot this down. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yak 1B, terrible fighter. Absolutely awful. But for some reason, you have to pay 25 points. Yeah, right? 25 points to pick up an extra crappy machine gun and, what is that, 55 kilometers an hour. That's the difference. That's it. It's the only differences. 25 points. Brutal. And finally, another card of the Mitchell with the meh payload. You know, that's why we're not taking it. So yeah, 19th tank. This is a division playing the game on hard mode. Absolutely no doubt. In 1v1. Multiplayer games, phenomenal. This division's great. Playing with 2v2s, even 3v3. You know, you got a lot of like long range support and things, and the support tab's great. RD tab is serviceable. A's doing just fine. You know, you get tons of Resnica, which is nice. Air tab is definitely helping out. But again, if you're in the 1v1 category, terrible. Really bad. I'd put it, I don't want to say D, because it's not unusably bad, but it is pretty darn bad. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership link down below. Thanks a bunch everyone for the support, and have a fantastic day.